book in this class, sometimes there's a lot of real things you're going to do, and sometimes you're just moving around a page to see what's going on. So here's lesson one. And as I go in here, it's going to explain what the area looks like. Now, if you're in the design book, it's going to, I believe it starts with InDesign, then it does Photoshop, and does Illustrator. But each one will give you a little tour of what the pages look like. And when you finally get to a part of the book, here's showing you how to start up the software on a PC. Then they show you how to start up the software on a Mac, so whichever system you have. And then they just talk about what we're going to do. And talks about opening and saving files. Read all this. Don't just say, I don't want to read that. You want to read it so you understand what's going on. They talk about customizing, how you open things. But ultimately, it's going to ask you, one of the first things in this lesson, it's going to ask you about opening something. It says you can easily find files. It's going to show you the bridge. The bridge works in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, a lot of different programs. Keep reading through. Then we'll go to the next page, understanding the bridge, some more stuff. Then it's going to getting there with the bridge. It's going to talk more. Ultimately, they're going to get to a point where they're going to ask you to do something. Okay? And as you read through this information, it says open this file or do this. That's what you want to do. So whatever software you use, say for instance, if I'm in Photoshop, this is what this happens to be in. So once you've read the area in the book, it says to open, say, InDesign, open Photoshop, whatever. Then you would come back and say it wants you to open something. You would come back into your area, go to either open, or if it says something, browse and bridge, you could browse and bridge. I'm just going to go to open for now. We saved our files on the desktop of the computer, so perhaps it says, often it'll say whatever the abbreviation for the book is, and then chapter 1, lesson 1. I'm just going to go ahead and open that. And so then it's going to ask me to do some things or whatever in the lesson that I'm working with. And when I finish that chapter, so you have chapters with little lessons inside. So once I finish the lesson that's in that chapter, I take a screenshot. So I take a screenshot of this. And then there is the file that I need to upload. And here, and I'm looking at different lessons. When I get to the end of a lesson, this is, looks like I'm in lesson 2 with what I'm doing right here. You can still see up here what area you're in. And they're asking to look at the bridge and that sort of thing. But when you get to the very end of what you're looking at, you'll be able to tell up here at the top, and now this, and it says lesson 3, okay, I'll just back up. All right. Whatever I had on the screen at the point here, I would go back into Photoshop or InDesign or whatever and take a screenshot of that. So if I was working in the Photoshop book, let's see, let me go back in here to where I was, Photoshop, I would take a screenshot. So I'll take the screenshot, and then that's part of what I'd turn in. Okay, I'm going to hide this. I don't need this now. Then what I would do is, keep working through the book, go to the next thing, open the pictures it says, or the files it says to open, work through what it says, and then save that. Okay, so remember your data files are here, your video files are here. You can take the quiz anytime. You might find it easier to do the quiz after you've watched the videos, after you work through the chapter with all the lessons, and then take the quiz. And then what you want to do is put all that, all the information, I'll hide this. Okay, so I took a screenshot. Here's my screenshot of what I was working on. Once I took a screenshot of the quiz, I haven't done the quiz yet. I showed you how to get to that. I'll put all that information in a folder. So if I can create a new folder, and maybe I would call this folder chapter, and you can abbreviate things if you want. And I could put InDesign or whatever it is. Say if the first one you're looking at is InDesign. I would put the files in there. Then the quiz that I took a screenshot, I put that in there. And then ultimately you want to zip it. Now, however you zip on your computer. Mine, I can come back here and I can come in here and go to compress. And this is the file then I would upload. So going back in to this whole thing, if we go back in, right? So I've watched the videos, I've taken the interactive quiz. You want to get at least 70% of the quiz correct. You can take the quiz again if you don't get 70%. So, because you want to know this information. Ultimately, once you finish the design book and the Photoshop book, you'll be ready to take the Photoshop certification test. And all this information is going to help you to get ready for that. And it's really super cool to have a certificate in Photoshop. Okay, and you can see different things. Here's a final exam, different things. But anyhow, the main thing I'm interested in is the interactive quiz that you take that. So once you have the screenshot for and all that, then you're ready to upload that. So if I go back in here, if I go back in to